This supplemental video is specially made for Grade 7 modular distance learners. This is based from English 7 Learners Packet, which was anchored from DepEd CALABARZON's Pivot 4A. Special thanks to Teacher Karen Fatima G. Gomez of SDO Tayabas City for her expertise in creating this Learners Packet. For today's most essential learning competency, we're going to target milk number 18, which is to express one's beliefs or convictions based on a material view. The enabling competency is to make a stand on the material viewed. The Philippines is an archipelago not only for more than 7,000 islands, but also of diverse customs and traditions. These traditions are formed as a result of our ancestors' beliefs. In today's lesson, we're going to read about some of the beliefs that Filipinos live by, especially the familial milestones, particularly on wedding days. Let us begin by simply defining what is a belief. A belief is something that is considered correct and true. For example, a person can believe in various things such as cultural or personal faith, values, or morality. It expresses viewpoints, but it is not based on facts or other evidences. A belief is also an opinion, which is why it cannot serve as a basis for a formal argument. Beliefs are very personal ideas and cannot be rejected because they express an opinion. Also, these beliefs are not mandatory to change completely with new experiences. Beliefs are ideas that we accept and claim as truth. We consider them important that we adopt this into our everyday lives as well as in our decision-making. Our values, our attitudes, and behaviors are influenced by these ideas that we strongly believe in. On weddings, some Filipinos are inclined to Catholic conventions brought by the Spanish colonization, but are also mixed with pre-colonial customs. Let us try to find out what are those notable examples of such Filipino wedding traditions. The first one is pamamanhikan. This is the first step in Filipino wedding, wherein the groom's family meet the bride's family and serve as the groom's official proposal. Usually, they sit down, have a feast, and talk about the bride and groom's plans for the wedding. This ends with both families giving gifts to each other. The next one is the veil and cord. In the wedding day, chosen godparents or sponsors put the veil and cord to the bride and groom, with the veil symbolizing the bride and groom's being clothed as one, and the cord wrapped around the couple in figure of 8, which symbolizes eternal bond of fidelity. "13 coins or aras. The groom gives the bride the 13 coins or aras, which symbolizes the promise of prosperity to their future family. A shower of rice. Usually, this is done after the wedding ceremony. The now newlyweds are showered with the grains of rice as a sign of bounty and rain or blessings. Rice in weddings also holds a sacred status, as a pre-colonial Filipinos are bound with hands held together over a mound of rice blessed by babaylan or priestess, which then becomes their first shared meal. The last one is what we call the money dance. This dance is usually the first dance of the newlyweds, whereas sponsors, family members, and guests pin bills to the bride and groom's clothes, which is considered a way to help the couple get started in their married life financially. Individuals have different points of views on subjects and how they express themselves in comparison to others. Now, consider the following questions before we read and discuss the following story. The first one is, how does a person stand up for a belief? Next, what skills are required to take such a stand? And the last one is, what are the challenges and risks involved when someone takes such a stand? Now, let us all together read the excerpt of the story entitled The Wedding Dance by Amador Daguio. Amador Daguio is a Filipino writer from Lubuagan, Kalinga before the World War II. The story is set in the mountains of northern Philippines in a traditional community unspoiled by outside influence. The story may have happened before or after the Second World War, one summer night before harvest time. Awiyaw is a strong, muscular, industrious member of the tribe. He'd been married to Lumnay for 7 years, yet without children. He loves Lumnay and was a good husband to her. But he is forced to take another wife as the laws of their society dictate. Lumnay is a tough, graceful woman who is also industrious worker. She was a loving wife to Awiyaw, but after the failure to give him an offspring, she has to suffer separation from the love of her life. Madulimay is the woman chosen to be Awiyaw's new wife. She holds the promise of the continuity of Awiyaw's lineage. So here, we have a forced, loved triangle. On the night of the festivities for his second wedding, Awiyaw visits his first wife, Lumnay, in the house he built for her. Awiyaw is worried that Lumnay is not among the wedding dancers. He invites her to the dance, but she remains still. He apologizes to her and explains why the situation between them had to be this way. It is clear that they understood each other. They do not point fingers nor judge one another. Awiyaw expresses his admiration and love for his wife, with his regret for giving in to the pressure of producing an offspring. He encourages Lumnay to accept another husband. Lumnay, however, is adamant and stands her ground that she will love only one man. Awiyaw promises to come back to her if he fails again for the second time. But Lumnay wishes him and his new wife only blessings from Kabunyan. She admits to him how difficult the situation is for her. When Awiyaw is called back to the dance, he pauses as if to think over his decision. Lumnay accepts his invitation to the dance, and plucks up her courage to face her tribe. The joys of the past and the pains memories keep bringing her. But then, Lumnai stops to reflect on her fate, questioning why they had to separate and plans to air her dissension to the tribe. However, she changes her mind and runs away from the ceremony toward the bean fields, where she lingers for a long while to be with the beans, the produce she is able to breed. Now it's time for you to answer and accomplish these different learning tasks. For your learning task number 1, try to answer the following questions. Write your answer on your paper. Number 1. What is the situation of Awiyao and Lumnai's marriage? Number 2. How did Lumnai respond to Awiyao when he invited him to come to the wedding dance? Number 3. What was expected of them during their time of marriage? Were they able to fulfill it? Number 4. Do you think Awiyao and Lumnai love each other? Explain your answer. And number 5. If you were in the situation of Awiyao and Lumnai, would you defy your tribe's tradition? Why or why not? For your learning task number 2, you're going to accomplish this character graphic organizer. So you're going to copy and fill out this organizer and fill the needed information. So we have here 3 columns. So the first column are the questions, the second column is for Awiyao, and the third one is for Lumnai. So for the first one, describe the character traits. So you're going to describe what are the character traits of Awiyao and Lumnai. Number 2, what does the character want and why? What does the character of Awiyao and Lumnai want and why? Number 3, how did they respond to their situation in the story? How did Awiyao respond to his situation in the story? How did Lumnai respond to their situation in the story? Number 4, do you agree with their beliefs and actions? Why or why not? So do you agree with Awiyao's beliefs and action? Why or why not? Do you agree with Lumnai's beliefs and action? Why or why not? For learning task number 3, you're going to write a 10-sentence paragraph reflection about one of the themes of the story you have read, like the one mentioned in the illustration. You may indicate in your paragraph whether you agree with the theme or not. Your paragraph will be graded based on the following criteria: organization, 5 points, content, 5 points, and writing mechanics, 5 points, for a total of 15 points. So, the theme of the story, the wedding dance, is love doesn't always conquer everything. So, you're going to write a 10-sentence paragraph reflection about the theme of the story. So, you can indicate in your paragraph whether you agree with the theme or not. For your learning task number 4, as your final task, you're going to use an old cardboard and other available materials at home. You're going to create a bookmark that contains a quote that you strongly believe in. Then on your paper, write at least 3 sentences explaining why you believe in it. You may refer to the rubric below to serve as your guide in accomplishing this activity. So again, for your learning task number 4, you're going to create a bookmark out of a used or old cardboard or any other available materials at your home. So you're going to write or indicate on your bookmark a quote that you strongly believe in. Then in your paper, you're going to write at least 3 sentences explaining why you believe in that particular quote. So you may refer to the rubric. This one is the rubric. We have here creativity, the design, color, and layout, originality or the uniqueness, presentation, the neatness and or is it presentable, and the mechanics, the spelling and grammar. So we have here a total of 40 points. In this lesson, it can be derived that Filipinos, particularly ethnic groups, have exclusive customs and traditions that they hold important to their tribe. Each has a colorful stories to tell that represent Filipinos' beliefs and convictions. These stories, legends, folklore, and novels from different parts of the country shape our moral being and connect us deeper into our roots. Our nation's rich history as a country that endures many wars and invaders paved the way for the people of distinct cultures and beliefs. These may be retained throughout the course of time, but with the continuing modernization of our country, such customs may change. But one thing that we'll always have in common is being a Filipino. For your assessment, you're going to list down customs and beliefs mentioned or implied in the story you have read. So the story is about the wedding dance. And then you're going to put a check whether you agree or disagree with them. Then write down your explanation regarding your response. Again, for your assessment, you're going to list down beliefs and customs mentioned or implied in the story, the wedding dance. And then you're going to put a check whether you agree or disagree. And then after that, you're going to explain your response, why you agree or why you disagree. Congratulations! You had already finished the part 1 of our lesson, expressing one's own beliefs. See you again. Bye!